I am hopelessly devoted to pasta, and I'm also a big fan of seafood. So it won't surprise you that I'm getting ready to combine the two in a real favorite of mine. Best thing is, in about 10 minutes, the whole thing will be ready. Start the clock. I'm making mixed seafood pasta, and words cannot describe how beautiful a dish this is. I'm not gonna need words because you're gonna see it in no time. First thing I'm gonna do is start cooking the seafood. I have a mix of regular peeled shrimp, some sliced calamari, and this is a little indulgent, but this dish calls for it, some cut up pieces of lobster. I'm gonna sprinkle the seafood with salt and pepper. And I started with a pretty hot skillet, and it had a little oil and butter in there. The butter was almost starting to turn a little brown, so that's gonna help the fish get some great color in a really short amount of time. I don't have to cook it all the way through at this stage. I'm gonna take it out and then it'll cook in the sauce eventually. Okay, that's about halfway cooked, so I'll go ahead and take it out of the skillet. It didn't get fully cooked, and it doesn't need to. It smells so amazing. Oh my, oh my. I want to leave some of the juices in the pan, and I'll let the fish sit while I move on with the sauce. I've got some really finely diced red onion, and it's just going to go right in with all that yummy seafood flavor, and some minced garlic. And then I have a few more things to add. A couple tablespoons of capers. Capers is one of those ingredients that I kind of forget about. I always seem to have it in my pantry, but I just don't remember to use it very often. And anytime I do, I'm always so glad I did. I have some sun-dried tomatoes that are chopped, and then some beautiful thyme and rosemary leaves. Okay, now I'll stir this around. These onions are diced so fine that it's not gonna take long at all for them to soften. So I'm gonna deglaze the pan with some white wine. Probably about half a cup or so. Wine in a skillet with garlic is just heaven. This skillet was so hot that that wine just started reducing almost immediately. So now I can add the cream. Yes, this is a creamy seafood pasta, and I am adding a very generous amount. You can add between a cup and 2 cups, just depending on how creamy you like your sauce. And I'll season this with salt and pepper. Look at the color of this with those sun-dried tomatoes and capers. Just wait till you see the finished dish. I'm gonna let this cook for another 4 minutes while the sauce thickens. So this is the perfect time to add the seafood, and you'll notice all those juices are dripping off the plate. You don't want any of that flavor to go to waste. Okay, I think by the time I've got everything else stirred in, that seafood's gonna be done. So I'm gonna keep moving forward. Instead of a bed of spinach, I'm gonna put spinach in the dish itself. It takes no time for spinach to wilt. So I'll just give it a little stir in the sauce, and then of course, to finish things off, I'm gonna grab the pasta. It is perfectly cooked by now. So it goes right on top of the spinach. Okay, now I'll turn off the heat. I'm gonna zest in a little bit of lemon. The flavor is just everywhere you turn in this dish. Lemon always brightens up a seafood dish. It's always a good idea. I have some minced parsley, and I'll sprinkle it on, along with a little bit of Parmesan cheese. And it's the moment of truth. Time to toss all of this together. Get underneath there and pull the seafood up to the top, and just keep tossing until you see all the elements of the dish. And I just can't emphasize enough how delicious it smells. I'll grab the lemon, and I'm gonna do lemon, parsley, and Parmesan right on top. And this is definitely one of those dishes you can serve right out of the skillet. Okay, the rest of the lemon zest. and more parsley, and a little more Parmesan. Okay, stop the clock. Okay, you'll have to give me a little leeway on the 10 minutes. I might have gone over just a little bit, but how fast did that come together? Speedy seafood works for me.